G'day lads, Jujubear here, welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm going to be playing a little bit of Total War Warhammer. I haven't really had a big chance to play this game a lot recently just because I've been finishing off some other projects. I have been sick as well. But I'm playing against Conceivable in this match here, AVA Conceivable. I think it's pretty cool at the start of every battle that they actually put the name of the characters on the opening screen. Because I remember how annoying it was kind of introducing a battle and you would kind of have to guess which player is playing which faction. That's a really nice touch they put into the game here. Now playing as the dwarves, I'm going to be playing a little bit more defensively than obviously the Greenskins would. Conceivable has brought a fair number, he brought some cav actually, and you can see we're in a volcanic channel map, which is very narrow, very ideal for a dwarven setup like this. What we're hoping to do is simulate a situation where, you know, I would kind of take a choke point and you know, Conceivable would be kind of sending wave upon wave of greenskins against me. So it's going to be a bit of a spectacle, of course. So what I've got are a couple of hero units. Now, I don't like... I mean, I don't mind magic. I just find that magic is a little bit hard to keep track of, especially coming from the older games like Total War Rome 2 and the first one is Shogun and that kind of thing. So those kind of things kind of, I feel like they take away from the experience almost. Well, they add to the Warhammer experience, of course, but it just kind of like draws you away from the main part of what Total War used to be. Now, I'm not hating on the series at all. I think it's pretty good, but I don't know, I just can't get into the playstyle. Maybe I need to play it a lot more. And that, to be honest, is probably the problem here. So, what am I thinking of doing today? So, I've got my... I got a little battalion up here on the ridge of Thunderers. Now, these guys are going to hopefully be kind of raining down upon any units that come up here. Now, I'm going to be backing them up with some Longbeards. Now, these guys are pretty insane when they're taking the charge from an enemy, just because they have some pretty great... what was that? I think it's like... or maybe it's the Longbeards with just normal weapons, because mine have great weapons. But the normal Longbeards actually take the charge very well. It's kind of like expert charge defense in Total War Rome 2. So I got one of them up here on the ridge. I've also got a couple of these Dwarf Warriors. Didn't want to spend too much money on my main line, because I'm going to be backing them up with some pretty expensive units at the back here with these Longbeards with the great weapons. I've also got, in case you didn't notice before, 4 of these miners with blasting charges. Now, these units down here... Ooh, yeah, there. These units down here, they pack a punch. They actually have these blasting charges that they throw into combat and they explode. So that's going to look amazing once they get into combat and kind of start doing nothing. I've also got an organ gun out on this flank here. I'm going to have to make sure that doesn't get taken out of the fight. But once they come into range, I'm going to be able to just pepper different units around the place with the fire from that unit. Anti-infantry, that guy is. Also got Thane. I've also got, here we go. What's this guy's name? Ungrim Iron Fist? Is that his name? I'm not gonna guess. I don't actually know the lords' names at this point in the game. Now, I didn't realize this before, but you don't have to pick a lord. You can actually just have a legendary lord and no lord. It's taken me a while to kind of figure out the ins and outs of this game, but, you know, I'll get there eventually. So across the field we have the horde of Conceivable marching across the field here. So he's got goblins at the front, 1 and 2. I think he's got another one somewhere. Yep, one at the back there. He's also got some savage orcs out in the flanks. There you go. He's got a couple of orc boys, 1, 2, 3, 4 making up his main line, and then up the back he's got some black orcs out in the flanks, 2 of them. Center orc big guns, 4 of those, and then there's that goblin there to defend his archers, I suppose. He's only got 1 unit of goblin archers. I suppose that covers him from, you know, flying units, and that can be like kind of like a specialist unit. He's got orc boar boys at the back as well, some shock cav. They can do a lot of damage, and he's also got Azarg the Slaughterer on top of this dragon thing. Now, I think it's really funny that whenever you pan around, the dragon actually looks at your camera. I mean, it's not doing it now, but it was. Funny, as soon as I say it, it stops doing it. Anyway, I think we're just about to start opening fire. I'm going to be firing on these savage orcs because they're quite expensive. Seeing if I can get a couple of kills. They're just behind a ridge, which kind of doesn't really work well for me. Now Conceivable was just marching forward. He didn't want to run. He didn't want to waste too much energy getting into battle. And it looks like he's popped a defensive spell on his own Savage Orcs there. And he's going to be leading the charge with Azag the Slaughterer as well. Now I want to use my blasting charges before they get into my infantry, because I feel like that's where they would probably be most effective. Now we just opened fire with the Thunderers, mowing down a number of these Goblin units, knocking most of them down, but not really getting too many kills there, which is surprising. So the Thunderers up on the hill, beginning to open fire, good stuff. Azag the Slaughterer, it looks like he's going straight for yep, there he goes. So Conceivable popping a pretty nice bit of magic there. Not really damaging any of my organ gun users. I mean, they got knocked down, a number of them, but they're going to get back up and be able to use their craft for sure. And here we go, we've just thrown the first blasting charges. Going to be shredding through a couple of these Savage Orcs. Next unit of Orc Boys is going to start to fall. We got some more up here. These Orc Boys are going to start to get shredded. So this is really quite a spectacle. You don't get this in Rome Total War 2. I remember there were a couple of units in Attila that did have grenades and that kind of thing. And we're going to get into combat. Orc Boys managing to get their way in here and get a pretty nice charge in. So we are locked up in combat. A couple of these Orc Boys got destroyed straight off the bat. So that was nice. I'm going to have to meet the charge of these Orc Boys with my own Longbeards with great weapons. And up on the hill, I have met him with my own Longbeards with great weapons, and I think we're going to be able to shred these Savage Orcs, hopefully. Another magic spell has been popped by Conceivable in the center. And out in this flank, we are defending pretty well. I want to make sure I don't lose my organ gun. I am in a good position. Excellent charge coming in here from these Orc Boar Boys. They're going to smash through my units. He could really carry on through if he wanted to, because they're all knocked down. But he's going to bring his Black Orcs in here, and that's going to be goodbye to these Longbeards. Not only taking an amazing charge from those from that shock cab, but also getting destroyed by those Black Orcs. Going to be reinforcing here with my Thane. He's going to get into combat against those Black Orcs, see if we can get some damage done. Now I've got a couple of blasting charges left over. I'm going to use them against the center units over here. Probably taking out a number of my own Dwarf warriors there, but oh well. Miners with blasting charges taking a lot of shots on those Goblin Archers. And Azag the Slaughterer has joined the fray. He's not, I think he actually is well, he's not a melee expert. He is a wizard, but he's going to do a lot of damage with his mount there. Can't remember the name of his mount, but definitely very, very dangerous. Getting some good flank shots in here on these Black Orcs. Wanted to make sure that I can take them out of the fight, that's for sure. Over here, these Longbeards and my Spirit Leech being used on my gen. So that's definitely going to take out a fair bit of health on that unit. So Azag can be used to great effect if you know what you're doing, and Conceivable definitely knows what he's doing. He seems to be a lot better at using magic than I am. So I'm going to see if I can kind of pull something away from this. I'm going to get a nice rear charge with my Dwarf Warriors into the back of this fray. Hopefully apply an attack in the rear penalty on these units. Take out those Boar Boys fairly quickly. Over on this flank, I am getting destroyed eventually by those Black Orcs, but my organ gun crucially has not been touched, even though we're standing right next to these Black Orcs. We haven't been touched, and we're able to keep on firing into these units that are running away from the battle. And my Thane, crucially, is just holding down these Black Orcs. I think without the Thane over here on the side of the battlefield, a lot of units would have routed already, and they're now being reinforced by some more Savage Orcs, so this is probably not a good place for any of my units down here. Again, Dwarf Warriors managing to destroy the units in the center, which is excellent. I haven't used any magic, because of course the Dwarfs aren't really known for their magic. They're known for their runes and that kind of thing, and that's pretty much as close as they get to magic. My Thunderers are now a bit exposed to most units, but I am making sure I take out any units that try to get a little bit too close to those Thunderers. I'm going to start to pull them back, because Azag the Slaughterer is starting to threaten here. And these Goblins actually coming back into the fight, they're being pretty useful. I think they are quite fast in comparison to most of the other Orcs. Yeah, 33? Yeah, sure. It's only a little bit faster than the Orcs. Anyway, so it's not looking too good for me. I've won out in the flanks, and the center's just starting to be a little bit shaky here. In continued combat against these Orc big guns, I'm probably not going to do too well. Armor 50. See, my armor's a lot better. Their leadership is all over the place at the moment. Speed's about the same. Melee attack is way... Oh no. Melee attack's, yeah, a lot better on the Orc Biggins because they got the choppers. And the melee defense is a lot better on my units. The weapon strength. So it seems like the charge bonus and attack is all, you know, down to the orc player in most of these battles. So pretty funny that my organ gun's actually able to still fire here. And I don't think did I take out Azag? No, I didn't. So Azag's over here getting into this unit. But luckily I've got my boss here who's going to be able to get into combat with him. Being a Slayer, I think he's supposed to be like the king of the Slayers or something like that. So he's going to be quite good at taking out targets like this, monstrous units. So yeah, getting into it, good on him. I think I'm popping all kinds of buffs on this unit. And my Thunderers aren't bad at combat either, but I can do this kind of things as well. My Thunderers are also taking shots into his gen. I know if I can take out Azag the Slaughterer, then I should be sitting at a good spot. These Thunderers are about to take a charge from these Black Orcs. Orc Biggins, sorry, which is definitely not where you want to be. Luckily, we're able to take them out of the fight before they actually get into combat, which is great. My miners with blasting charges are still in the fight. Amazing stuff. I don't know how many kills I got, but at the start, you saw how devastating those blasting charges were. Some of those shots were mistimed, but definitely taking out a lot of different units on the battlefield. And look at my organ gun, still hanging about. Amazing to see these guys still taking shots at different units around the battlefield. But yeah, point blank range, almost into the back of my own men. So still picking up kills. How many kills have I got so far? 259 kills, holy fuck balls. Not bad at all. So it is a Pyrrhic victory for Jujubear in the end. I think we took out Azag the Slaughterer. Yes, we did. His health is all the way down to 0. So he actually left the battlefield with more men than I did. So yeah, good props to Conceivable. He actually played a brilliant game. I think a lot of these kills on these miners with blasting charges were when they used their blasting charges straight at the start. So intense amount of kills at the start of the battle, but not a whole lot happening afterwards. Ungrim, that's it, Ungrim Iron Fist, that's his name. I think I actually got it right the first time. But he was pretty crucial in holding down the left flank and making sure he didn't get into my Thunderers. But then I also got into Azag the Slaughterer, and the guy's a specialist, so he's going to be able to take out Azag pretty well. The Thane as well, holding out the right flank, making sure that he doesn't get into my organ gun, who managed to get 259 kills. I can't believe that's amazing. Thunder is intense. These guys are sick. I really like these guys. You know, you can just kind of like form them up on a flank and just fire down upon your enemies. That said, I think in this battle, we were kind of both trying to play for the spectacle. I think Conceivable was like, yeah, man, I'll just play into your hands. And it was pretty obvious that he was like, yeah, just running straight into my line of fire, just taking the damage. So, good sport. Orc Biggins getting heaps of kills, even though he just threw them into combat. They got heaps of kills, amazing stuff. Black Orc's always going to get a lot of kills, very expensive, but definitely able to take out any Dwarven unit. And my Dwarf Warrior is just holding up, I suppose. I don't really know if I had a proper plan in this match, but yeah, the Dwarf Warriors did a great job at just holding up different units around the battlefield. So yeah, thanks for Conceivable for the game. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one. Jujubear signing out. Peace.